Well, hello everyone. What a mixed lot. Chirpy, I think Wazza was there somewhere. I hope he didn't fall asleep. And Craig and Mary. I guess it's Mary. It could be Craig again. Stephen and Tom. G'day, Tom. Chirp's up. Mary Marshall as well. There you go. Good to see ya. Stephen Lang. It was a good video from Stephen Lang this week on making a expanding arbor. Good video from Chirpy on his tool grinder. It's a really cool project. One from Matty on optical center punch. And if you saw that, Matty's in the room. You can stop talking about Matty. He's here. It'd be very, very difficult not to talk about Matty tonight, but he's got some news. But that won't be for a week or so, so you'll have to sit on it. It's a conspiracy edition, this one. Uncle Bob's Bees is here. Has changed back his username. Kevin Machine NZ is here. Go Create. Nigel's here. Good video from Nigel this week on parts for the valve gear for his locomotive. Really enjoying that series. Stuart Hingston's here. Look Creation is here. Matthew Look from the UK. Scraping Guru. Check out his channel. PGS is here. Peter's here. The Ginger and Milling Machine guy, you should check out his channel too. He makes some cool stuff. Belt grinder's looking really good, Peter. Dan Shed's here. He missed last week on about it being slightly over inebriated, but good to see him. Phil's project's here. Good to see you, Phil. Wonder what you're up to. Alistair's here. Good morning, Alistair. Adventures with a very small lathe. Who I believe is going to have a scraping video for us before long. Sounds pretty cool. All the difficult questions for Phil, but we do miss him. Casual Steel's here. G'day. That's your hydraulic lift. That's awesome. Paddy's here. What have I been up to? Not very much. To be honest, I had the day off. I've been cleaning a bit, which is really well overdue. I have like actual bench space here. Outside the cone of cleanliness, I don't, but I do have a little bit of space here, and I've been putting stuff away, and I've been organising stuff. Just little projects that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've sort of spent some time doing. Everyone else is on daylight saving except us, Paddy. I'm not actually. Anyway, I bought these clamps from their work zone from Aldi. They're actually pretty good. They're not bad clamps. Alright, for cheap F clamps. They've got a hole on the pin in the end there, and they're 18 by 5 millimeters. I've been messing around, and I've had this on the hole, which is just a pipe clamp, really. It's got a GoPro mount on here. Bolts on here with the bolt. And it's a bit slippery and it moves around and it's a bit wobbly, etc, etc, etc. I haven't been happy with it. So anyway, today Hey Ian, thanks for the update there, Phil. Good to see that. We do worry about you guys up north there. So anyway, I 3D printed these up today. A couple of these. This is one of them. I haven't put this together yet. But this has got a pin and a hole for the roll pin. And that fits on there nicely like that, which is excellent. This one's got the socket for the GoPro part that actually fits in here and locates in 4 parts. And it's got a couple of nylock nuts in hexagons there, and you can see that. This is stage 1 of this project, which should be to stop most of this camera shake, which annoys the crap out of me and probably everyone else as well, but you do remarkably well. I have about 3 sets of good Allen keys, as you've seen, and I'm going to use this toy one. And a couple of M4 nut bolts. Don't have the right length ones. Probably should, but no idea where they are. So that's a nice solid GoPro mount for the end of the clamp, which is great. I can just clamp this somewhere. Just about anywhere on a machine or on the bench, and we can connect the GoPro on here. It's got a screw through from the back, and it's got a piece here. I've still got to print those. I've actually drawn them up. Just copying the piece that come with this. And I've got an adapter for the GoPro mount on the back of my tablet too, which is how I'm shooting this. So hopefully we get some of the flexi bits out of it, which are still in there. This might be a really good system, I think. But I'm a bit impressed with that. So that's what I did. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. So anyway, that's the solution. STL forthcoming and all that sort of stuff. But I'm kind of liking that. I'm probably going to make a 1/4 Whitworth attachment as well, for ordinary cameras, and publish it somewhere. But that's nice and solid, and certainly really kind of liking that. It's portable and it's easy, and all you got to do is unclip it, put it somewhere else, and change it around, swivel the head. It's all pretty good. Which filaments? This is Prusa filament from Czech Republic. Good stuff. It's all layer wound, and it's quality control's pretty good on it. It prints nice, sticks to bed, all those sort of things. Doesn't string too much, and it's usually dry when you get it. So I like that filament. These took about a pair of these. This complete set, I just did the 2 of them together, with 15% infill and 0.15 layer height, which is basic standard. Took me about an hour to print them, but you'd be struggling to make them out of aluminium on that sort of time frame. So really pleased with them. I've been pretty slack on this project. I've been pretty slack on anything to do with metalwork, and I really do apologise for that, but I'm not really sorry. I did sharpen some scribes. Sharpened my Randy Richard scribes today. That was about the extent of the workshop jobs as far as actual work. I messed around with this head a little bit the other day, and I was going to get to it today. Just didn't happen. Cleaned the bench off and thought, well, there's stuff we could put away, and there's some storage systems that we could fix so that we can put stuff away and probably hopefully clear a bit more of this bench off. So I vacuumed the floor, and I've got a space here, which is really good. Anyway, that camera mount's been like 6 months thinking about it, but there we go. I've been using a clamp and this crappy clamp and hot glue, etc, 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 all those sort of tricks for months, and it's really not much good. But this system is awesome. It's portable. You can take it with you. You can throw it in your bag, and if you're filming on location, you can just clamp it on something, on a handrail or whatever. It's great outside. It's nice and solid. Love it. I think it's going to be really good. Been messing with this. I'm going to move this camera back because we can. There we go. This is a bit of an epic project as far as 3D printing goes, and I wanted to prove to myself that I can really do this. Oh, flat belt. I see. I was wondering what a flow bit system was. There was some fancy reversing system. So this is what I've been messing with. It's actually got a spring-loaded back end, which is pretty cool. No springs in the front. All the steering's back together. These tyres are flexible filament, which has been a bit of a challenge actually, but we got them so that they actually sort of printed reasonably well. They're soft and squishy. Probably fairly grippy, I think. And good to see ya. Hey, that's an awesome project, Stephen. I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome. You could do some pretty cool stuff with that. Love to see that. You do it, we'll watch. That's exactly right. We'd really like to see that. That sounds awesome. We'll hold you to that, actually. Any word on Rust Knox? No, nothing. No emails, no nothing on this end. But I haven't really bothered him too much. I might send him a note at some point, but tried to. He's probably got stuff happening. Doesn't want to hear from me. So, Stephen, yes, you're in trouble. Then we expect full hydraulics, and and we expect steering and proper diff, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be cool. All gears and ball bearings. Smooth as silk. I can just imagine it. With sound effects. Yeah, with sound effects is important. Touchscreen console, mobile phone operated, all that stuff. Yep. This has got a diff in it. It's pretty good, right? This print has got 2 layers of paint on it, in full disclosure. It's not off the machine, but there's no filler in it much. There's a little bit of filler in the guards here where I didn't put enough support and they drooped. But apart from that, no filler. So this is the print off my machine, which is pretty awesome. It's got a bit of a buckle in the bottom there because I left the paint out in the sun to dry and it melted, but nothing serious. So the steering we're working on, but this has got ball bearing, 1 ball bearing or ball race in each wheel. All this pivots on M3 screws, and it's proper operating off that servo in the bottom there. So that's steering. Close up of those tyres. I don't know if you can see that flex, but they are fairly soft. This diff here is all together now. Works like a proper diff, etc, etc, etc. So the springs in the top there, we're going to see that it's got coil springs. And this is quite a project. There's about 100 hours so far in this, when I do the maths. Try not to think about that. I was thinking the other day, my printer's probably got 100 hours on it since I got it, but it's probably got 500 hours on it when I really think about it. There's no spray putty in this. I've said it before, but Matty probably owes us a Lego Technic video at some point when he runs out of things to do. Which, from what I heard, isn't going to be anytime soon. I think he's been about 12 months on that engine build that he's made. Rustanox has been about 12 months or so building that. So, not sure if there's any updates or what's happening, but I hope he's okay. That's not what I saw, Matt. But anyway, you'll be fine. Printer does run. It doesn't run 24/7, but it runs. It does a print every 12 hours, and some of these didn't do this one every 12 hours because this combined print here, which is actually glued together in 3 places. This one has glued here. There's a glue line through here, and there's a glue line here. About 9 hours, 12 hours, 21 hours. So what do we got? About 40 hours in the main body here. These tyres need to be printed really slow to be flexible, and there's about 14, 15 hours in the 4 of them. And I should still got to print another one for the back wheel, spare wheel. This isn't South Africa, Ian. There's, yeah, the spare wheel hasn't been fitted yet. How many rolls of filament? About half of one. Not even. This is the drive shaft, which is sort of slides. A bit of grease on it. It might slide a bit better when we put it together. A bit of silicone grease or something. This goes on the motor. It's got a D-shaped hole for the motor, and this has got a square block that goes in between there and the diff, so that this runs up through the middle of it. And there's a motor mount which looks something like this, which for some reason doesn't fit this particular part. So there's a problem there. I don't know whether I write to the guy or whether I just modify it maybe, but the two holes are not in the right spot. So the motor bolt's on there, and that drives the drive shaft. Anyway, that's what I've done the last few days in between all the other stuff. I don't think a centre bearing would work, because this may or may not have got close to the hairdryer, and this is what happened. Actually, it was just a hot summer's day, but that's the natural stress in the material after printing. This is actually an interesting part, because I printed it in 2 parts. This is glued together actually, but I printed it on a bit of an angle like that at about 10-15 degrees, and the filament, the layers are this way on an angle, so that gives us our best strength. It gives us strength this way and strength this way. So this is a pretty solid piece actually. I think it would drive pretty good, but it's certainly not precision. Feel a bit sort of a bit nervous about that, but I guess it'll work. Fridge had a car like that once. I wonder if it was like it when he got it. Take care. We expect videos. I wonder how Keith would go with that. Anyway, that's what I've been messing with. Bit boring, I know, and certainly not meant to work, but I thought, well, I'll get in and do some work on that. I need a couple of ideas while you're all listening, right? For one, I've got a set of C5 collets, 5C collets. They're all in little boxes in the drawer, and they're a bit of a pain because you never ever find them. I want to make a rack for them, something modular. I won't rule out 3D printing, but that'd be fairly slow, and probably I want to make something out of either aluminium or acrylic or something like that. If anyone's ever seen anything or has something that looks like it's pretty awesome and is sort of dust proof and you can read the collets easy enough and they're easy enough to lift out, and you can lift a row of them out of the box at a time while you use them, so you don't have to worry about a whole box full of fairly heavy collets. All these design things come into it, but it's something I really need is some way of organising my 5C collets. And I'm also working on a box to go under the lathe to hold drill chucks and collets and things, lathe chucks and spanners, etc., etc., stuff that's dedicated to the launch lathe, because at this point there's no real dedicated storage area for that, and I've got wasted space under the headstock of the lathe, so I think we're going to make a cabinet there, something to keep the dust out and to be fairly clean, but something we can just drop chucks into their place and don't have to worry about taking another one out first and things like that. Nothing's particularly heavy, it's all one-handed stuff, but at this point I'm getting a bit sick of it sitting around on benches. So that's something we need to do. Presso's carbon fibre is nice. I don't think it's a very easy thing to... Phil, did you make one? Did you print one? I don't know how you got on with that. Seem to remember you made a lot of end mill boxes. I'm not sure about a collet rack. Picture please, Chirpy. Tom has one. That's worth a look. I'll have to have a look at Tom's. A cabinet with drawers is very useful. I've got a cabinet here with drawers, but it's under the grinder and it's not a good place to keep collets, really. I'm also a bit worried about them going rusty if there's wood and stuff, so I'm thinking about that. But really it's something that needs something done about it fairly soon. I've got this wasted space in these two big drawers down here. Right, it's full of this is my junk drawers. I really need to clean these out. A lot of this is 3D print stuff and vacuum cleaner bags and old switches and collets and grinding wheels and abrasives, woodworking gear. For a long time this was my old camera mount. It's a bit ordinary. Multimeters, milling cutters, things like that. Need a rack for these too. I want to, probably even in these boxes, we're just going to put some divisions in these boxes. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. But this needs cleaning out, and probably my collets could go in here without any problems. So thanks, Paddy. Let us know. We've got a lot of humidity here, Chirp, so I'm not sure about that. Depends on the wood too. Pine's probably not real good. I know I have a vintage spark plug collection, and a lot of that was in a pine box for a long time, and that didn't do it any real favours, to be honest. Plywood's probably much better. Anyway, that's what's been happening. Progress on the Stewart progress? No, nothing. Sorry. There was a couple of videos which we need to talk about on the Stewart 400 bore on the cylinder. I have so many comments about wearing gloves with the milling machine, and I'm sorry about that. The footage we got that day was... there really wasn't very much of it, and in the couple of frames that we did get, we're actually wearing gloves, and I probably shouldn't have put that up, but anyway. The secret to that is a big rigid boring bar, and we got through it, and it's a really nice job now, but that was a bit of an ordeal, and we put that off and put it off and put it off. Take care, Phil. Good to see you. And yeah, love to see an update, even if it's just a quick, this is what we're doing. And say hello to Pierre. Oh, I got about six comments this morning about wearing gloves, if you have a look. But anyway. Yeah, we miss you. We'll see you in California next year. What other stuff? There's a Discord channel, which is a chat channel. It's pretty active, actually. The Spare Room Machine Shop. There's a link at the bottom here, in the comment, in the description box on this video, which has all the sort of associated links in it if you click that. But Discord is a chat window, and we kind of get a bit off topic. Today's conversations, if you go back through them, are sketchy, I think you could say. Probably fiercely opinionated and a little bit dubious in their actual grasp on reality, but we talk about a lot of crap, and it's good fun. So if you're really feeling like you need to hook up with someone, hook up's the wrong word, you don't want to hook up with any of those guys. If you're feeling like you need someone to get you out of a funk, or a bit of encouragement, or you're having a mental health day, jump on. We don't judge. We're all pretty easy to deal with. Very, very unlikely to tell you where to get going. So, love to see you. I'm just saying that's there, and don't be afraid to use it. Thanks, Chirp. Dan Shed, Fridge is the only guy on this chat who's probably good looking enough to hook up with. So, and he's taken. So, sorry. Oh, and Maddie goes all right too. I got a message, and look, I'm not going to say too much, and I can't really say anything. And I got a message from, was it this morning, yesterday morning, or the day before, or something like that, this week anyway, asking for how could I say this without giving anything away? Asking for Maddie's address because he had a project that he wanted to bring home. And I sort of thought, that's awesome. and a little bit jealous because I'm a gimme girl and it's a pretty awesome opportunity. But I've already got this project here somewhere, which isn't a clue because I've got a lot of projects here, and I don't think I've ever showed this on live stream or on YouTube, so you've never seen it. But I do have some extra details about it, so I'll keep Matty in touch with them, but eventually when the parcel arrives. But apparently it's a big secret. No one knows anything about it, and we're all a bit excited for it to arrive. So check out Matty's channel. Go and subscribe to him now, because if you haven't already, because that could make some pretty good videos, I reckon, if he's up for it. Total shocker of a total shocker of a topic, yeah. But anyway, pretty excited about that. There was some discussion about whether Matty was actually going to sleep this week, but anyway, he's probably up for a talk any time of the day and night because he won't be asleep. Anyway, I'm excited about that. It's something that really is pretty exciting. Just because Matty's probably in the next 5 years going to undertake that project doesn't mean that I in any way, shape or form are going to either. So I've got the bit sitting here, and it's at this point it's never going to happen. It's been 10 years now, probably longer. So that's exciting. What else is exciting? Fridge was going to update. It's got a lot of cool stuff happening. Dan shared. Got a lot of cool stuff happening. You've got to keep some pressure on him, get him some subscribers so that he actually updates his channel, because he does some pretty cool stuff. Wazza does some cool stuff too, and Warren Rise, if you check out his page on Facebook, he's Restoring a Dodge Ute, which is a pretty interesting project. You should go and have a look at that. It's one of those sort of projects. Warren, don't worry about that. It's not just me. No pressure on any of it. Anyway, that's something that's going to happen, and it's going to be pretty exciting. So watch out for that. Who else is doing cool stuff at the moment? Which other channels did I notice had some cool stuff up? Randy Richards finished his workshop, which is really cool. Looking great there. JB's kind of gearing up to start building a house, which is amazing. Pretty exciting there too. Lockdown. How's lockdown affecting everyone? Is that true that lockdown went down in South Australia this week? Is that true? We haven't got any here. Thanks, Chirp. Yeah, Craig's harvested the forest and stolen every clamp in the state. He's got, like, seriously, it's like some great medieval torture chamber most of the time in Craig's workshop. But I think he's got the bench top welded up, glued up. He's just got to weld up a base for it. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see. Anyway, that's pretty exciting. I'm not working Wednesdays this week and next week. I think I'm working Tuesdays and I've got Wednesdays off, which splits up my weekend in the middle, which is a bit of a pain, because I don't tend to get wound up enough to get in the workshop, and that's been a bit of an issue. So I'm going to try and remedy that, like really try to improve that. And next weekend, maybe we might see this engine running. I'm not going to promise that, but I'd like to get it pretty close to running, actually. That's getting to that point that I can't put it off any longer. And the only reason that bench tops is not any thicker is I think he might have run out of clamps. Sorry, I've got a bottle of flat lemonade, which is why you're hearing that crinkly noise when I open it. I don't know if I've got much else to say, really. I'm trying to get this workshop tidy so that I feel a bit more like coming in here again next weekend, and probably during the week getting some stuff done. Someone to wind you up or get on your nerves. Yeah, jump on the Discord. What else? I don't know. I don't really have anything else. I haven't got anything at all this week. It's a pretty poor sort of a week. I feel like I haven't done much at all. What's over here on the workshop bench? Let's have a look. We got a set of number drills. We've got a jar full of carbide end mills that need sorting out that come from Stefan. We've got a bottle of steam oil fridge. Check that out. It should be labelled 3-in-1, but it's actually 460 weight steam oil. I've got a box of pens. I've got a metric drill set and imperial drill set. I've got a subscriber counter that should work but doesn't. I've had a bit of a mess around with that and I haven't really reached any conclusions, so I'm not sure what to do about that. But at this point, the subscriber counter doesn't work. I'm not sure why that is. I've got the Stewart project. I've got parts of the other Stewart project. I've got the top off a vertical boiler over there in the corner that Mayo I've been using to dry out silica gel, but it probably needs machining and a chimney put on it and put on the top of the boiler. Got a set of Banggood 3mm nuts and bolts, which were excellent value at about $8, Australian supplier. Well worth having. Got a set of sander drills. I've got a English coin ring that Malcolm Lincoln made and sent. It's another great channel if you want to check out Malk. He does some cool stuff. He's feeling like he's getting old, but you'll get over that and get through it. He does some pretty cool stuff in his kitchen in his spare room, and that's a ring that he made and sent. Vertical bandsaw, I've got one sitting here Needs putting back together in a coat of paint. Not sure if I'm going to start that this year or not. I'm thinking that it would be a useful thing. I've got someone lined up to make a base for it. I haven't got a gearbox or a motor for it. And it's pretty heavy. So, really not sure. I need to spend some money on a gearbox and a motor and some sandblasting at this point. Hasn't happened yet. What else? There's some 3D printed parts. There's the head off the 400, which we're having trouble with getting the valves to stick. We've got a set of change gears for the launch. That needs some work. The attachment's actually on the machine at the moment, and it's been used fairly recently, but it needs a box and it needs a few more knobs and it needs some hand finishing and probably some soda blasting or something to bring it up to looking professional, and probably a guard, and a stop on the compound slide, like a clutch release so we can machine up against the shoulder. But that's another project. Valve grinding paste, super glue. This project here, which I haven't forgotten, at some point I need to get in and make some cast iron dust out of them, but most of these lumps of cast iron are going to get converted into chips, and I'm not looking forward to it because it's an awful dirty job. But once we get into it, it probably won't take all that long, and then we can move on to the next part. I don't mind machining cast iron. What I don't like is the piles of dirt that come off it and being black for a week afterwards. That's where I have issues with cast iron. Anyway, I've about said all I've got to say, and quite a lot that I didn't have to say, to be honest. I apologise for that. I really feel pretty amazed that there are people who get out of bed or stay out of bed or stay up or mess up their lives and their days and their schedules and things around live stream. It's pretty crazy. We see people jump in from all over, and that's amazing too. It makes you feel pretty humble, actually. And I really appreciate the time I spend with all you guys and girls. My machines are pretty clean, Chirpy. It's just that... Oh, this is the other thing I got. Haven't even really opened it or anything. I don't know if it's much good, but I will use it for something. This is to go under the base of the Stewart 400. Because... I stop it dancing around when it's running, I hope. And these are anti-slip squares. I'm going to cut some pieces off them and probably glue them on. Doesn't seem... It might work. They don't seem particularly anti-slippy. But... Not sure. Might just glue some sandpaper on it if we're honest. That might be good enough. But... This stuff... I mean, it's anti-vibration, but it's not particularly anti-slippy. So... We'll see. Now, I got some squares of that, and I'm just going to chop them up and glue them on underneath, but I'm not sure. First time I've really looked at it. Looks like pretty good firm stuff. O-ring feet look pretty good, Chirpy. I really do. The veg top for varnish, there's that too. Yeah. So, this is the box. I guess you've all seen it. We could probably move back further again. So, this plate isn't on here permanently because I still want to put some top coat on this. This has been dowed so that this just sits on there, and all the electrics go in the bottom here. I'm going to get someone to cut me a probably a 15 millimeter acrylic base to put under the engine, keep the oil out. A piece of aluminium would probably do as well, but a bit harder to cut. I've got some 20mm aluminium that I could use, but I had to earmark for another project, which may or may not happen at some point when I'm feeling motivated. Thanks, Paddy. No, it probably won't be JB. He couldn't find a piece of stuff, Craig. So, and he's crazy busy, that guy. So I really don't feel like putting the pressure on him about it. So we do have plans before Christmas to take delivery of a laser cutter at work that should cut that fine. So, and might be a foreigner at work, to be honest, but that's a pretty exciting bit of gear to have access to. Bit excited about that, but nothing official yet. I've got the drawing done up, and when it does land, we'll get a piece of acrylic or something and get that cut, or even MDF. But I'd rather not something that absorbs oil. Yeah, you could make 3 layers of 6mm or 3 layers of 5mm, no worries at all, and that'd be excellent. And I have thought about that and put some pins in it to dowel it together and bolt it down. It'd be a good job. Breadboard's probably a really good option too. Just a HPE breadboard. They're generally awful colours though, and you'd have to paint it. As far as lasers, no idea. Hey Greg, no idea what's happening. I'm not in charge of buying it. I'm trying to pretend to be not all that interested, and it's going to be a learning curve for the boys who are going to run it because it's their first real engineering machine. So I may or may not get called in to do something with it, but my workload at work is crazy heavy anyway without that, so I can live very comfortably without increasing that. So at this point, I'm probably just going to give them a drawing and say, here, cut this. So that's the project. I really want to get this bolted down. I want to get the pump bolted down. I want to get the radiator bolted down and plumbed up, and I want to get a tank made for it. So they're all things that we can do, but above all that, I would like to get this engine running, and there shouldn't be too much more to do to it to get that happening, I hope. And when it does run, well, the rest I imagine will happen lickety-split and pretty quick, or short order, all that sort of stuff. But at this point, I'm procrastinating those valves because they're a bit scary. Anyway. At this point, it's probably just going to be a nice piece of black acrylic that's going to look good, and it's going to not going to need any finishing or surface prep or anything else. It's just going to bolt on here, and the engine will bolt on top of it, sandwich it down. Probably a bit of paper or something to stop it slipping. I don't even think it needs that, and the job's done. 3 6mm bolts, 5mm bolts, 6mm bolts, I think they are. We'll give you some information, Paddy. I really don't know very much about it. I'm not even sure when I'm going to see it. At this stage at work, I can't see my workload coming up to Christmas being any less. Like, I really can't. And this thing's supposed to be delivered next couple of weeks, within the fortnight, I think, at last count. And I'm not even going to, there might be a training course I could do or something like that, but I'm going to just leave that to the boys that have outlaid for the toy, and most of what it'll do is leather work and probably display and merchandising work too, which is what it really needs. We need it for, but mostly leather work and giftware, that sort of thing, Christmas decorations, that sort of stuff for sale. So it's a production machine, and it's going to get a fair bit of pretty hard work, I would say. So at some point we might be able to fit this cut in here. I've got it drawn up ready, but I don't know when. Could you 3D print a base? I can't see why you couldn't, to be honest. It'd have to be nearly solid, which means that there's probably be a best part of a roll of filament in it. It's too big for the bed on my machine, so you'd have to do it in 2 halves, which wouldn't be a big deal. You could make it fit together like a jigsaw puzzle without any problems. Not sure about that. I've given it a little bit of thought, but obviously not all that much. Something I would like to make at some point, you know, when I live long enough, probably in the next lifetime sometime, in the next 30 years, JB did a really nice little paper laser cutter for cutting cardstock and that sort of thing. On his channel, it was his TMC 2020 entry. I guess everyone saw that. But pretty awesome little cutter, portable, hanging on the wall. Good system and fairly lightweight and reliable. I would like something like that for cutting gaskets and doing that sort of work. But it's just another one of those projects that's never ever going to happen because I'm not going to live long enough. I'm starting to feel like that. Hey Dennis, good day. Just in case you forgot about Maddie's project, it hasn't even left Penrith yet. Because we had sort of almost forgotten, and in the resulting 20 minutes, we had changed the subject. So it's good to bring it all back on, so so that when Maddie does finally go to bed, he doesn't sleep. No, I'm loving this, and I apologize. I really am. I'm really excited to be in on that particular secret, and I'm sorry if I've blabbed it everywhere, but no one actually knows what it is yet, and it's going to be fun. Leave him alone. Poor guy. Anyway, we've been an hour. I'm going to call it over. On that note, I'm going to leave. Thanks heaps, everyone, for tuning in. Big thanks. A couple of new Patreon supporters. That's an awesome thing you guys do. I'm dragging my feet on this a bit, but there is a new video up this week. I'm pouring that casting and doing this. It's a bit scratchy, but it's a video, and I would love to say that next one's going to be this engine running, but I'm not sure it is, so we'll see. Yeah, like button, Malcolm. Thank you so much for that, and thanks to everyone for all you do. I'm not sure the like button does a whole lot, but subscribing certainly does. And your click-through views on this video make a huge difference. They really do. What other projects did I buy and not finish? I've got 1,000 of them. 1,000 of them. Probably 2,000. You can't even go there. I might show you one day. Anyway, I'm out. Take care. I've had enough. I'm probably going to mess around and start printing the rest of this camera mount. And I might be on Discord for a little bit longer. And there's a couple of YouTube videos that I want to watch. So that's where I'm going to be for the next hour. But huge thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and be kind to each other, especially to me and to all you poor Americans need it too. Be good, guys, and we'll catch you around.